I have a question. Do you believe in fate? Because I think fate has just brought a new spinning wheel into my life, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. I don't remember what day it was or what I was doing, but I came across this post on Reddit of a person who acquired secondhand Lendrum Saxony wheel. So Lendrum wheels are, in my research when I was gonna purchase a wheel, Lendrum wheels are one of the most versatile options you could get. It sounded like very beginner friendly, very easy to take care of, and great quality. In this Reddit post that I found, someone has acquired a Lendrum Saxony wheel secondhand. Happy for her, I suppose. Um, and she remarked about what a great find it was, considering that Gord Lendrum is retiring. And this was news to me, and I was surprised and was also sad. And of course, that made me have a that gives me an urge to find whether there's a secondhand Lendrum Saxony wheels around me. My first wheel is a Lendrum double treadle wheel. I'm very, very happy with this wheel. I've spun all of my handspun on this wheel, save a few projects that I spun on a drop spindle before I acquire the spinning wheel. And I just have such a good time with it. I can make any kinds of yarn I want. There's so many options in terms of ratios, so I can make very fine yarns to thick yarn to bulky to art yarn. It's all there, and so I'm very happy with this wheel. And the Saxony one is a different style wheel, whereas the double treadle is an upright wheel. The Saxony one has this wheel on the side, and then you spin on the side as opposed to at the bottom of the spinner. And I also believe it's a double treadle wheel, but I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, and possibly uses a different tension mechanism. So I went around looking for a Lendrum Saxony wheel in the area, which I was not expecting much, because I live in Germany, in Europe, and it's just not a brand that there are just no dealership there are just no dealership of Lendrum wheels here. So I think the brands that you could find over here is probably more like Ashford or Kromsky maybe. So it's unlikely to find a Lendrum wheel, let alone the Saxony one. Yeah, as I suspected, I didn't find anything, but this led to a thought in my mind about another wheel I was considering when I was first dipping my toes into spinning world and was acquiring my first wheel. And it's a Schacht Matchless. So Schacht Matchless, also based on my research, sounds like the Cadillac of the spinning world. It's a wheel that can do everything. Yeah, very solidly built and very versatile in terms of what you can spin with it. And it has a different tension mechanism compared to my Lendrum wheel, whereas my Lendrum wheel, I believe, uses an Irish tension mechanism. This Schacht Matchless uses double drive tension and Scotch tension, which is bobbin led. So far I've only been able to work with the Irish tension because that's the wheel that I have. And Schacht Matchless has the other two types of tension, which is not an option that's available to me. So I went around looking, and what have you know, I found one 15 minutes away from where I live. 15 minutes. And this, I was so shocked by this because like Germany is large, right? Germany is huge, And then it just so happens there is someone who's selling the wheel I've been thinking about for 5 years, and they live 15 minutes away from me. So I knew I had to at least find out what's the deal with this wheel. I texted the person and I told her a bit about my background and was just asking if I could have a chance to spin on it since it's not so far. It's not a huge deal. I mean, yeah, granted, I'll have to take my husband and my 2 kids to this appointment to try the spinning wheel. But I believe they were more than happy to oblige. So I just set up a date with her. And then that day came and it couldn't have gone more swimmingly. It's the owner, the previous owner of this wheel was very, very kind, and her house is full of wool. It's like it's like there was just this connection or this shared understanding of what an amazing material wool is. Something that I can't, like, you can't really communicate that to someone to convince them that that's the case. And then there it was, this stranger, and I just knew that she loves spinning as much as I do, and it was very, very special. So she introduced the wheel to me and told me what her situation was. So this wheel lived in her dad's house, and the intention was that when she comes over to her dad's place, she gets to spin while she was there. And in her house, she has another Schacht Matchless that she uses daily. And over time, this opportunity to come over to the dad's place and to spin just get fewer and fewer. And she feels that it's better that if this wheel goes to someone else who would use it more often. So yeah, I gave it a try over there. She lent me some of her wool, and it it was amazing. There's basically no learning curve, and I could spin fine. I tried it out, and I was so surprised when she said that she allowed me to take this wheel home to spin with, and I could keep it for 2 weeks as a trial period, which is insane. Like, she's just letting me take this wheel home without giving her any money, any guarantee, any ID. There was just this level of trust that I feel like we share with each other because of, yeah, you just know that this person also loves wool, and that's all the reason why they're there. So yeah, so I took it home, and I did not need 2 weeks. After 3 days and spinning a little bit, I have made up my mind that I would like to purchase the wheel from her and transfer her the money, and that was the end of the story. So the wheel was in a really good condition. I only had to do a little bit of cleanup, just a little bit of dust, a little bit of oiling of the shaft. But other than that, it's in a really good condition. I think it's an older version of the Schacht Matchless, because hers is a little bit different. I don't think it matters so much. It's like a wheel. I feel like a wheel is meant to last centuries. I mean, there are wheels that exist today that are hundreds of years old, so it doesn't have to be the newest version of the thing. While we were over there, she was also showing off some of her wool collection. There were some that she has hand dyed herself using microwaves, new technique I haven't heard before. Yeah, a really, really beautiful colors, and she also showed me some fleece clippings that she had from, I believe it was someone she knows that owns some sheep, and she offered it to me. So she showed me a few different breeds, but what caught my eye was this Jacob sheep clipping. So it's the first clipping of a lamb, which happens to be the Jacob breed. And I've spun Jacob before, and it's wonderful. And this fleece is just amazing. And she asked me if I wanted it, which of course I said yes to, and she just let me took it home along with the wheel. So that was super special and super amazing. So this is the second time of me buying a spinning wheel secondhand. I have one that lives in my in-laws a little further south, and I have my Lendrum, which I bought new from a store, and now I purchased the Schacht Matchless, also secondhand. So I thought I could share a few tips with you if you're also considering purchasing a wheel and seriously considering the secondhand option. My tip number one, very important, is to be patient. I know you want a wheel. I know the idea really excites you. And I know once you own a wheel, it'll be amazing. But I feel like patience is really key. You probably only need one wheel. Like, I don't think I need three wheels. And I never thought I'd be a person who owns multiple wheels. It's just so decadent and they take so much space. But so for most people, probably it's enough to just have one wheel. So you want to be very intentional with your purchase. Make sure that it's really the wheel you want and you're getting it from someone who is trustworthy, and that sometimes takes time, especially if you're considering secondhand stuff. But once the right one comes along, you will know. You will know that this is a good deal, that this will become my wheel, and it'll be worth the wait. I promise you. My second tip is to try the wheel out first. At the very least, 10-15 minutes of spinning, because there's so much parts of a spinning wheel and they all need to work together in an orchestra to make the magic happen, you know? So you don't want to be troubleshooting a wheel or having some parts break in transit, or figuring out that some part is not present that might be hard to get a replacement for. So your best bet is to find something which you could visit, look at directly, and try out. And in my case, that was very special that she let me keep the wheel for a longer time at my home for me to try with. It was certainly helpful, but I know this is probably not something to expect under normal circumstances. And my other tip is to try out the different ratios or spin different yarn when you're trying out the wheel. When you first meet this wheel and you try spinning on it, if you're already familiar with the spinning wheel, then you'll probably find your default rhythm very quickly. But just to be able to find the range of the wheel, maybe try the lower ratio as well and spin a bit thicker, and then try the higher ratio and spin a bit faster and thinner. So make sure that the wheel has some range, and make sure that all the attachments that you need for the different ratios are present. If you're a newer spinner, I would probably stick with brand name wheels because it's easy to get support for. It's easy to look at the manual or to search online for troubleshooting different kinds of problems. Whereas if you go antique, yeah, it's often really hard to find spare parts or replacement parts for that specific type. I know the world of antique wheel is a beautiful world. The wheel I have in my in-law is actually I don't know if it's an antique or not, but it's certainly vintage. But the flyer has been replaced by the previous owner with an Ashford flyer. So it's really easy to find replacement or bobbins or other parts for this wheel because of that. And that's also what made me confident in purchasing it, knowing that I could actually use the wheel. The other thing is consider what other parts the wheel comes with. You would probably want at least 3 bobbins in order to make a 2-ply yarn. 4 would be best, so you can make at least a 3-ply. Usually the wheel would come with a lazy Kate, which is a contraption that holds the bobbin as you ply from the singles. So just make sure what kind of spare parts are there, and make sure you get the whirls because that's what will allow you to change the speed that the twist enters the fiber, which will allow you to create different kinds of yarn. I like how it just pulls those snaps naturally because the twist enters the batch when it wants to. The take-up is a bit weak. Yeah, you see, the take-up is way too weak. So the singles ply back on itself before it makes it to the bobbin.
Just kick you off. Okay.
By mistake.
It's too big to capture.
I thought I could also show you what I've spun up with my new wheel. So this is my spinning result from the wheel tryout. I have 2 different skeins here. The first one here is a bit thicker. I believe I chain plied this yarn and the singles were a little bit thicker. So I was aiming to go for an Aran to bulky weight yarn. And this is what I have. A bit thicker. And then The other one is traditional two-ply from a bit of a thinner singles. So I think this is kind of my comfort default yarn, which is around DK weight two-ply. So yeah, this fiber is my experimentation in processing fiber. I hand dyed the fiber purple for some reason. Purple is quite possibly my least favorite color. I don't know why I dyed this purple. And then I added cotton naps into it, and then some Tessa silk, some bits of sample fiber that I got sometimes from fiber purchase, and I blended on my drum carder, and it sat around in my stash for the longest time because it's an awkward amount. It's probably like 40 grams, and it's in the color that I'm not normally very attracted to. So I thought it's a great occasion to inaugurate my new to me spinning wheel, to try and spin that and see what kind of beautiful yarn can come out of it. And here it is. So thank you so much for listening to today's ramble and for welcoming my new spinning wheel into my life. I hope you get good progress on whatever it is you're doing, and I hope to see you next time. If you enjoyed this, maybe you'll be interested to see my latest podcast episode. Could be fun. Bye. Tschüss.